Okay, good evening, everyone, and thank you so much for joining me. I appreciate your patience coming on live with you for a special episode. Typically, I share my master classes with my membership group, but I thought this would be something of value that my fellow cookie business owners and perhaps other bakers or maybe small business owners might find helpful. So, welcome and thank you for joining. If you're not able to stay with me for this time period, no problem. I am recording this and we'll have this available for replay. So, what are we doing tonight? As you can see from the slide that I have on screen right now, we're going to be talking about a quiz, a business strength assessment. So I developed just a very simple bird's eye view with 10 questions that you can ask yourself and kind of assess and reflect a little bit about where you are at in your business. And hopefully, it will be of value for those that are transforming their hobby to business, or maybe you're thinking about it, maybe you've started that journey. Perhaps you are a solopreneur and you're really maybe overwhelmed. You're not quite sure what to do first. So I'm hoping that this short assessment will give you a little bit of direction. And perhaps with, a little bit of that overwhelm, you're not really sure what you should be working on first. So, and then finally, this might be a really good assessment for those that have an established business. And it really will just allow you to identify some of the strengths in your business and maybe some of the opportunities. So I'm looking forward to sharing this with you. But without further ado, just let me quickly introduce myself. My name is Annette Conrad, and I'm the owner and lead creative for a company called Edible Impressions. I started over 18 years ago from a hobby, and I do have a small team. And what we do here at Edible Impressions is we prepare and share our meaningful and memorable custom designed cookies and for a variety of special occasions, corporate functions, and we also do our virtual decorating experiences. We have a nationwide reach and we are growing a family run operation. So I'm happy to share with you not only my experience and knowledge from running a business for over 18 years, but also I have 24 years of events planning industry experience. And so both of those worlds kind of collided, and this is what you get. So again, what we're going to be doing tonight is going through 10 questions. Let me just go ahead and progress this slide presentation here so you can kind of see what we're going to be doing. We're going to be talking about 10 areas. You can see product quality, customer satisfaction, branding and packaging, marketing reach, pricing, operational efficiency, customer engagement, feedback, utilization, and networking and partnership, and a little bit about financial health. So again, it is just a very short quiz to evaluate your overall strength of your business. So I do refer to cookie decorators, but you really can transfer these areas into really any other small business. So as you go through it, but of course I have a love and passion for all of my fellow cookie decorators out there. What's really great about this assessment is we're not only going to ask ourselves 10 questions, we're going to be honest and straightforward about where we believe we are in our business today. So, not reflecting where we've been or where we want to go. It's going to be a pulse check of where you are at right now. And we will proceed on with actually tabulating the scores tonight and then also seeing where you fall in with a very general rating scale. And then I am not going to leave you without some calls to action as well. So just so you are aware of what the game plan is here. So let's go ahead and get started. Now, I will let you know that you can find this resource at AnnetteConrad.com. It is under the resource tab and it is a free download. So if you are unable to stay with me tonight and you want to work through this on your own, you certainly can. So feel free to visit that website. Okay. So let's dive in because, I want to make sure that this is pretty concise. We got a lot to go through, but I want to make sure that, we get through everything that I wanted to cover tonight. And I'm really excited because I have already gone through this with my membership group last Wednesday, and the response was very positive. So I think some of the members acknowledged that it was definitely an awareness. They were able to recognize, even though they kind of knew deep down in their heart where the opportunities were, but this exercise really just kind of validated that they know what now to work on. So, okay. So here's how it's going to work. We're going to read each question carefully, and we are going to, again, pick the best answer for your current business situation, okay? Once you've selected an answer, we're going to go on to the next one. Now, because I can't chat with you live, I'm just going to kind of go at a fairly steady pace. I don't mean to rush you, but like I said, I want to get through this this evening, and of course, respect your time here. After completing the 10 questions, we're going to tally your scores, and then we are going to review just 2 calls to action for each area. There are many, many, many calls to action, but tonight it's more about the awareness and recognizing what the opportunities are. So let's get started with the first one. So number 1, and if you didn't download and you're watching this right now, go ahead and just get a piece of paper, just write a list 1 through 10, and you're going to write down the number in terms of what your response is, then we can tally them up. So no worries if you don't have the full download in your hands right now. You can kind of work along with me. And I am going to monitor the feed as best as I can. So if you do have any questions or wonderments as I'm going through, I will do my best to answer those as I see them. Okay, so product quality, how would you rate the consistency and taste of your cookies? Now, again, like I said, I was talking about cookie decorators, but you can switch out the word cookies if you are a baker to what it is that you offer, or if you are you're a maker and it happens to be a non-edible item, you can always switch out that for your purposes. So we're talking about product quality. So be honest, this is something that, of course, product quality or offerings, what it is super, super important. And I should mention that these are really not in any exact order, but I thought product quality was right out of the gate something that we should be talking about. So okay, so go ahead and mark your answer there. We're going to move on to the second one. So customer satisfaction. So how satisfied are your customers, okay, with the variety of designs and customization options available? And this one was kind of interesting because some of the members were not really sure how to answer this for a variety of reasons. Perhaps maybe they're not really sure. Maybe they don't have a formal feedback workflow process to really understand or know if their customers are satisfied. So I would say that definitely is an area of opportunity. So just think about that. But then, when I say designs and customization, again, referring to the cookie industry, but maybe you don't customize, maybe you don't personalize, but maybe that is something that your customers might be interested in. So if you're questioning, at any regard, your customer satisfaction, go ahead and give yourself an appropriate rating. And, don't worry. The beauty of something like this is that if you do end up being a little bit on average or below average, that is just going to bring to the table what the opportunities are, and it's just going to make your business stronger in the end. Okay, so no judgment here. I'm not trying to upset anyone. Just want to get kind of an idea of where your business is at. Okay, so branding and packaging. How effectively does your packaging reflect your brand identity and enhance your presentation of cookies? So you really could look at this 2 ways. The packaging and branding for your business, and then also for your client. So I'll kind of leave that up to you. If you wanted to do branding and packaging A and branding and packaging B, you certainly can do that. We're talking about, your logo, your tagline, your colors. It could be your packaging, your ribbons and boxes and bags. And, do you have a cookie care card? What are the things that your customers receiving? Whether it be the tangibles or things that they receive during the fulfillment stage. So there's a wide range of branding and packaging here. But again, be honest about where you believe you fall in this area. Okay, moving on. Market reach. So, how successful have your marketing efforts been in reaching your target audience? So, again, this one could be looked at in a couple of ways. I should mention that I actually had taken this assessment, and because I'm running my business with my husband and my family, I actually had him take the assessment too, and it was very interesting because when we rated very differently here, and it was kind of interesting because I think when he was reading this, he was thinking more about paid advertising. So he kind of rated us a little bit on the lower end, which was interesting, where I rated us on the higher end because I feel like I am personally the marketing for the company. I believe in a bit of old school engaging with my clients and prospective clients. We don't do any paid advertising for edible impressions. And so, I felt like we do a lot. I do try to engage, whether it's on a social media platform or maybe it is attending events. So you could look at that as marketing being paid ads, but marketing is just such a huge area. So the way that you may want to interpret that is this: are you engaging at all with your clients? So if you feel like that's an area of opportunity. And then, here's the thing is if you don't have a means of reaching your target audience, or you're not even sure who your target audience is at this stage of the game for your business, then again, you might want to rate yourself more on the average to below average. And again, just an opportunity for you to strengthen this area. All right. So the next one is pricing strategy. So again, a lot of these areas are very, very broad. I mean, each one of these areas could essentially have its own assessment. So stay tuned. I know our membership community is looking forward to really going much deeper on all of these areas, which we do plan on doing. And if you're not familiar with what I'm talking about when I talk about membership, again, visit AnnetteConrad.com. All that information is there. So I don't want to spend too much time about that, but you can take a peek and see if it would be something that may work for you. Okay, so pricing strategy: are your prices competitive compared to other similar businesses in your area? Now, people that know me and how I operate is, I always coach folks to stay in their lane, don't worry about what everybody else is doing, find your unique offering and don't copy, but maybe mirror, but really find your unique offering. And so it's a little bit, backwards here because I'm saying, are your prices competitive compared to other similar businesses in your area? But what I want to shed some light here is that what I recommend is that you know what your competitors, or so-called competitors, that's a whole nother topic for another day, but don't be fooled, because people that you think are your competitors may not be, because you have no idea what's going on in that person's business. So, but what I'm trying to say here is that it's good to do research and to understand, who is doing what and where and how you compare to them. But again, it's just be aware. So if you're not sure, then, that might be an opportunity for you at least to do a little bit of market research in this area. Okay. So moving on, operational efficiency. So how streamlined are your production processes in order fulfillment? So this is a really, really big area to cover, but just a bird's eye view, just if you were on the top of a skyscraper and you're looking down at your operation, how are you feeling about your workflows? Do you even have any workflows? Now you're probably thinking, well, I'm a solopreneur. Do I really need to write everything down? I would highly, highly encourage you to do so, because when you are ready to bring someone on, you will have those workflow processes ready to go so you can properly train and share your expectations with your team. So again, if you don't have workflows, if you feel like you're always trying to play catch up, if you're staying up late, if you're working long weekends, then perhaps you need a little bit of strengthening in this area. So how streamlined are your production processes and order fulfillment procedures? So streamlined meaning, are you being as efficient as possible? Are you, paying attention to costs and inventory and all those good things? So again, a really, really big area, but it is worth just giving it an overall rating on that area. Okay, so customer engagement. How actively do you engage with your customers through social media, email newsletters, or other channels? So this is probably one of my favorite sections here, is because I am all about, establishing, building rapport, building relationships, building partnerships with my clients. And I'm very proud to say that many of our clients are long-standing. It's wonderful to be able to create a partnership, and I do my best to engage as much as possible through various channels like social media, email, and other channels, whether it be LinkedIn or whether it be attending events is super important to me, even being on a virtual webinar. So there's so many ways to engage with your customers. And so again, if you don't have these channels set up, this is definitely an opportunity for you to consider. So because that really has been one of probably the best things that we have done here for our business, is really have engaged and has established relationships with many of our clients. So go ahead and give yourself a rating there. All right, so feedback utilization. How effectively do you incorporate customer feedback into improving your products and services? So this one, ask yourself, do you have a process, a formal or informal process to soliciting feedback from your clients? It doesn't need to be anything super complex. We'll get to that in the calls to action, but this is something that you want to really think about, because it is so important to really understand. And then, with the product quality, with the one that we started with, this is a great way to validate and to know that you're offering the highest quality products possible, because your customers are telling you that you are. So, do you effectively communicate with your customers to ask for feedback, and then do you take some of that feedback and improve your products and services? I know that when I had done a previous masterclass on feedback utilization, I caution you very much so that don't have a knee-jerk reaction when, let's say, one person gives you some feedback. Don't let that derail you. You need to trust that you have a good quality product. You never know if someone gives you feedback, if they're just having a bad day and they're just taking it out on you, or if it is valid and to the point. So it's really good to track the feedback. Certainly, if you see some pattern to folks providing feedback, then you definitely want to review and assess and maybe make a change. But that's just something to seriously consider. And then the important thing is, what do you do with the feedback? So again, taking that to heart, but do something with it. If anything else, use it for your marketing efforts and to engage with your clients. And it's a great way to say thank you and incorporating their feedback. Okay, so number 9, networking and partnerships. So I have been talking a little bit about how I do like to engage and stay top of mind with my clients by being present, being visible, attending events, collaborating and creating partnerships. That is done really well. In fact, tomorrow, I'm very excited. I dropped off 200 Orange Theory inspired cookies to my fellow community members here in Mequon, and I'm really excited to share a little bit of appreciation for the team and the community members. But again, it's also a way for me to increase visibility for my business, but then also be able to increase visibility for an incredible team and fitness center that since December I have really come to really enjoy. So you can see that by making that offering of a sweet treat, that I'll be able to increase some visibility and really just strengthen that relationship. And as I always preach and teach is, if your family and friends and your immediate network don't know what you do, it's really up to you to let them know, so that they can also share all the great things that you have to offer the community. So networking partnerships. Have you established any partnerships or collaborations with other local businesses or event organizers? I mean, I could do, and I know I've done a couple master classes, but I could talk all day long about this area, because it is such a wonderful thing We've got relationships with some nonprofit organizations, and it is so wonderful to be able to, give back. It's, very heartwarming to be able to give back and bring smiles to people's faces, the families and children, particularly for like Ronald McDonald House and Children's Hospital. But it is also a wonderful way for my business to get some visibility, by partnering with those event organizers. So. Okay, and then the last one here, I know I feel like I'm kind of blazing through these, but we've got a little bit more to cover here. We want to get to that rating scale, of course, but financial health, how confident are you in the financial stability or sustainability, excuse me, and growth of your potential for your business? So let me just repeat that. How confident are you in the financial sustainability and growth potential for your business? And so an important thing, is not meant to be a tricky question. Really what it comes down to is, let's say you're just starting off and you don't have a lot of traction right now. Don't worry about that, because really the question is, how confident are you? Okay, so let's focus a little bit here on the mindset. I truly believe that you need to be in the right mindset. You need to believe that you can be financially sustainable and you can grow your business. You need to believe it. Otherwise, it's not going to happen. I can tell you that right there. Or it'll be very, very challenging. So, this might be a high marking for you. So perhaps you've gotten to the 10th question and you're like, oh my gosh, all of these have been average or below, or, maybe even poor. But if you believe and you're confident that you can have financial sustainability and growth, taking consideration all these areas that you could potentially work on or strengthen, then I would give yourself a fairly high score in this area. Okay. And really it does depend, I know, and I thank one of my community members for bringing this up. It does definitely depend on when we're talking about financial health. Everybody has different goals. So whether or not you're taking your side gig and continuing on a part-time basis, or maybe you're going all in and transforming your part-time, side hustle into your livelihood. So that does definitely, does depend on what your ultimate goals are. Okay, so again, remember, as this slide says, that this quiz is designed to help you identify areas where your business can grow and improve. Again, just hopefully it just gives you a little bit of insight. So there were, 10 questions, very, very broad areas. Again, each of those areas could have essentially had their own assessment, but this will just be a nice opportunity for you to, help prioritize, if anything. It should raise some awareness. It'll help you prioritize. I'm hoping that it will empower you to take action and maybe keep you a little accountable as well. Okay, so here we go. So for those that are catching the replay, thank you so much. And so again, this will be available for replay for those that are watching live right now. You can obtain your PDF of this assessment at AnnetteConrad.com. So go there and you can download that for free at your leisure. But here's the rating scales. I want you to go ahead and add up all of those numbers, and this will give you just, again, a snapshot of where you are now, okay? So that does not mean that if you rated yourself low, that your business is going to fail, or it's just not going to happen. It's just the pulse check of what's happening right now. So you can certainly make changes to strengthen your any one of those areas. Okay, so 45 to 50, exceptional. Continue to innovate and grow so your business is thriving in every aspect. Keep it up. You're doing great. I'll tell you, for someone who has been in business for 18 plus years, I did not rate 45 to 50. So don't worry, because I think it's kind of like when you go in for performance reviews, it's very rare that someone gets, exceptional in every single area. And, there's reasons for that because, can you imagine if I rated myself 45 to 50 as exceptional, I'd be like, oh, well, great. Everything's perfect. For me, I actually rated a little bit more critically because I'm a doer and I like to challenge myself. And so I was a little bit more critical, and I'm actually pleasantly, I can tell you that I rated myself on the strong. So yes, the business is strong. I think we landed right around a 41. But I know that there is always opportunity for improvement. And then I'm also looking at the rating scale because, overall it was strong, but I definitely had some areas of average, and even an area of below average that I'd like to seriously work on. So it was just an opportunity for me to prioritize really what we're doing really well in and what area that we want to focus on. So strong 35 to 44, 25 to 34 average. You're meeting the basic expectations, but there's a couple areas that require attention. 15 to 24 below average. There might be a little struggle there, but don't worry. We're going to have some calls to action here in a moment. And please, if you rated a 5 to 14, yes, there are some significant challenges. And again, I don't want you to worry if you have the commitment, the dedication, the interest. It will come. So perhaps you are just starting off and you're like, wow, I got a lot to work on. But no worries, because that just gives you an opportunity, hopefully a roadmap of where you can start with. Okay, so really quickly here, I'm going to kind of go through some of the calls to action. As I mentioned, there are so many calls to action on each of one of these categories, but I'm going to just go through each one here real quickly. So product quality, a couple of suggestions. You could do a taste test with potential customers, gather some feedback. You could also invest in personal baking classes. So again, this is geared towards cookie decorators. So there's a number of opportunities. Oh my gosh, not just YouTube, but there's paid, there's, courses you can purchase, there's retreats you can go to invest in upping your skills and your techniques. So those are a couple things that you could do. Customer satisfaction. Yes, you can definitely set up some type of feedback channel through surveys, follow-up emails. Again, it does not need to be anything super complex. It could be as simple as looking at your orders from the previous week and just making some calls or sending some emails as follow-up. I know one of the things that I do, pretty consistently is I will always send a picture of the final presentation along with the UPS tracking. And then I also flag my calendar to follow up. If that person did not have a chance to reply back to me, I just want to make sure that there's some closure and that they were indeed satisfied with their custom cookie order. And it also gives me an opportunity to ask for any feedback. And also if I can get any pictures, perhaps from their special event, so that I can use for future marketing and to share with prospective clients. So, and then also consider expanding your design repertoire by attending workshops. So perhaps, your customers are ready for something new, or they want to go a little bit deeper. So that might give you some opportunity to, satisfy your customers with some different offerings. Okay, branding and packaging, couple calls to action. You can experiment certainly with different packaging options. You could invest in a professional branding service, but I don't want you to think that this is going to need to cost you a lot of money. I know that Canva, for example, it's just an example, has a free version. I do, recommend perhaps the paid versions for, again, a number of reasons, but that's another topic for another day. But it doesn't need to be something that's going to be extremely costly. But you might want to delegate because you are the CEO of your company. You might be a solopreneur. You've got a lot on your plate. So, sometimes it's best if you call on someone who has the expertise and the knowledge, who can, number one, get it done a lot faster and a little bit more professionally. So I'm always a big believer in contracting, subcontracting if need be. It would be worth every penny. Okay, market reach, couple calls to action here for you. Conduct market research to better understand your target audience, certainly. Utilize social media platforms and consider definitely collaborating with local influencers to expand your reach. So those are a couple things that you might want to consider. And again, like I said, if you're not really sure who your market, your target market is, maybe again, you're just starting off. There's two ways you could go about it. So you could develop your product and then go search for those people, or you could determine who you want to work with and then develop a product for them. So there's a big debate about which one is the better route to go. I think it is personal preference. Bottom line is that you just want to pair that product or offering with that audience. So making sure that you are essentially solving a problem, and you're offering them something that will, something that they need, something that they desire. Okay. Pricing strategy, definitely an area. I love talking about pricing. I've done many, many master classes on pricing and will continue to do so. There's lots of different strategies, but I would definitely take some time if you're not really sure what is out there, who is doing what, especially local. If you are in the local market, look at your different strategies for pricing too. I did a nice presentation on, it's one of my pricing bundles, about the differences between a flat fee structure and tiered and starting pricing. And then also you can consider doing some bundling or some, deals, discounts for bulk orders to attract more customers. So there's lots and lots of strategies for pricing. But one thing I want you to consider and just know that you want to be consistent and fair, certainly, but just know as the CEO of your business, you certainly are able to adjust your pricing accordingly. You're not locked in, and you can choose to, of course, honor your previous pricing, but that's why I really do truly appreciate these starting, because especially with the customization that we do, it's really nice to be able to take the variables of that order and then determine what the pricing is, rather than just saying, okay, everybody gets this price no matter what. So it is something that you can kind of, test the waters and just continuously evolve with that, specifically for your clients and what you're offering. Operational efficiency. So definitely look at your workflows, identify the bottlenecks and inefficiencies, I should say. And, I'll be the first to let you know, and I'm sure my team can attest to this, that, I think I was kind of the bottleneck. And when I was up in the bakery and I was kind of running back and forth because I was trying to manage the business at the same time. And eventually I got smart and I started to delegate a little bit more and not so much micromanage. And it's just been so refreshing. I have got a great team. I trust them. We are in contact, and they kind of know what they need to do. And I've come to finally realize that everybody has their own workflow, in the sense of how they will approach let's say a cookie design, but as long as it comes to the end and it's consistent and it represents the brand, I just kind of give them that opportunity to kind of do it the way that they feel they're most comfortable with and most efficient. So and then certainly invest in tools or software to automate repetitive tasks, to streamline any of your operations. So definitely, I mean, there are so many tools out there, that you can automate. You can always, hire someone. But yeah, that's, like I said, another topic for another day, because there are many, many tools and software. I mean, Facebook, all the social media channels have opportunity to do scheduling. So I know for my LinkedIn posts, I do look at a month out, but then posting on a weekly basis, scheduling them on a weekly basis, just because I want to keep that time sensitive engagement. But it is really a time saver, because I don't have to, on a daily basis or every other day, go into the application. It just automatically posts. So because my time is valuable. And it also just offers some consistency too. So, okay, customer engagement. Definitely you can develop a content calendar. There's so many different strategies when it comes to customer engagement. Challenge yourself, get on the phone. I know, again, I'm kind of old school, but I know we live in the world of technology, but sometimes it's great to answer the phone or pick up the phone. Sometimes it's challenging to do kind of the pop-ins with companies, but it's very easy to connect, let's say on LinkedIn. It's very easy to DM, direct message people. Don't be shy. You could set up meetups. There's so many ways you could attend events, and then for your small business, if you do have a social media platform, you can definitely do user-generated content by hosting contests featuring custom creations on your social media platform. So there's lots and lots of strategies that you can consider. All right, number 8, feedback utilization. Definitely in some form or fashion, have some way to collect and analyze your customer feedback, and then actively seek input from customers on new products. And, you can test out the waters. In fact, with my Orange Theory friends, in about 4 weeks, I'm going to be coming back with another round of custom cookies, but this time it's going to be jam-packed full of protein. So I am dabbling into a new recipe, and I thought, what better way to get feedback than to share them with my exact ideal audience. So I will keep you posted on that. I'm really excited about it. But that is just a really great way. If you want to, validate if you're onto something, if you want to go a little deeper, try something new, check back with those people that have ordered from you and ask them if they would provide you feedback. So it's a very small investment to get really, really valuable information. All right, networking and partnerships. Definitely, I've kind of talked about this quite a bit through this presentation, but local marketing, networking events, there's so many groups that you can join, whether they're free or whether they're through your chamber of commerce, potentially. There's so many ways to cross promote or join events that are complementary to your business in your area. So I know I've kind of touched on this quite a bit, but don't be shy. Let your friends and family know, and then don't be shy to ask them, who else in their networks might be interested in what you are offering. So like I said, if they don't know what you do, how do you expect the non-family and friends to know what you do? So, and people are usually more than willing to help share. All right. And then finally, your financial health. Certainly, I would definitely, just quick disclaimer here, I'm not an accountant, I'm not a lawyer, and I'm not a doctor, but you might want to conduct a financial analysis to identify the areas for cost saving and revenue growth. So, take out that piece of paper, start jotting down what are all the costs, do some evaluation there. And always, consult a financial advisor to develop a more realistic budget, long-term financial plan for your business. So it's really, really hard for me to touch specifically on financial health, if you will, in terms of call to action. But the biggest thing you can do if you are, let's say, a baker, is know your numbers in the sense of what does it cost you for those ingredients? What is it costing you to produce those orders? And then you're really looking at what are you charging? So you can really break it down. Part of my pricing bundle, I do get a little bit into that. And I'm more than willing to have a conversation with you. So just send me a note if you'd like to chat sometime. But that's a great place to start, is just start writing it down. Because if I had $1 for every person that I talked to that really didn't know their numbers, then, that would you just have to know your numbers, especially if you're going to be in business. So that's a great place to start. All right. So congratulations, I want to say. You've completed the quiz, you've, looked at your rating, and you've got a little bit of some ideas in terms of calls to action. This is something that I hope that you retake every quarter, maybe every 6 months, maybe once a year. Ultimately, I'm hoping that will help you prioritize, raise a little bit of awareness of where the opportunities are. It kind of keeps you accountable, gives you a little bit of direction. And I definitely encourage you to, if you want to take it now and then take it again in a couple months, and let me know how you rate it if you're so willing to share. But you don't have to, of course. But I would love to hear your take and see if this was helpful. And again, you can visit AnnetteConrad.com. I will again share with you really quickly here, if you are at all interested, where we came out. And the funny thing is, I actually had taken the quiz myself, and I actually had my husband take the quiz too. And we actually rated very differently. So I rated at 41, and he actually rated us quite high, 46. And I kind of made some observations about that, because first of all, I'm pretty critical on, when I was taking this. And I think he was very kind, if I will. I think he recognized how hard the team is working, and he rated us pretty high on things that he's kind of not directly responsible for. So thank you for that. But again, if you came in more average or below, don't be too hard on yourself. Just, congratulate yourself for number one, taking the quiz and also recognizing the opportunities, and just know that your business is going to be stronger for taking this.